G'day guys, welcome back. In the last one we left you off, we did the drawers and battery system and seat covers in the Land Rover. We're coming back, we are making a table for the rear. So I've already taken this panel off. Luckily it's already come with a stainless steel panel when we bought it. So it's a lot easier than having to make up a wood panel or another stainless panel. So I've already taken it off so we can get rough measurements, rough guides of exactly what we need.
All right, so I will try and give you guys a little bit of an explanation of what we're actually doing. So what the plan is on this half of the back door, we're going to do some shelving. And then on this half, it's going to be a fold down table. So we just got to work out the logistics of it and how it's actually going to go together.
We've drilled holes roughly where they need to go. And then we've got 2 L brackets done up so that we can screw them into here first. Make sure it sits nice and flat at 90-ish degrees. And then we drill holes in the back just as extra support. And then these here is just going to be, we're just going to use the L brackets for the bottom and build the sides. And then, yeah, see how the top goes as well. Nice and solid. It's not going anywhere. Now what we're going to measure, we're going to measure up here, exactly where we want the top. We're going to go 370 mil each side.
We went and did our 2 side pieces, and now we're going to drill them in, and then we can go make our top piece, and then we'll have our box. And then we'll work out our shelf as well.
We've got our top sorted.
Yeah.
So this here is what it's going to be looking like.
Yep, so we're going to screw this top bit on, and then we'll probably go around and screw all the backs on so that's actually secured to the metal.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably start working on the other side, the fold down table section, and then we'll come back to this later because this is sort of, once that's in them, we can work out what we're doing.
This is the magic test to make sure it actually fits. It should fit with the measurements we've done, but this is the real test. Close. Fits perfect.
It's like
perfect.
literally like could not be any closer.
Nice. Perfect.
All right. Next up, we're going to add our little trim piece to the bottom here so that when we put stuff in, it doesn't fall out. I also mentioned earlier that we have got elastic to run across as well. But yeah, we're going to screw this in through the bottom.
So now what we're doing is making a frame for the table. We're going just before the bolt holes here. Going to go just above the holes at the top here. We're not going to touch the shelf yet until we're finished and happy with this side. Next order of business is these roof racks. So we're going to smash them off while Imogen's still here before she heads off to work. And then I'm going to do some mechanical stuff today. Probably record a little bit, but not a whole heap during the day, just because in the daylight, the drawers, the shelving doesn't look great in the daylight. This is like, it's like a rough idea of what we want. We're not sure we're still not sure if we're going to carpet this or if we're just going to paint it black, but yeah, DIY, so it's not going to look great. We will get back to it later. We'll do it properly and nice. Let's smash these roof bars off. Having issues getting these off because someone decided to replace them with 10mm bolts instead of little Allen key holes like they're supposed to be. So having issues actually getting anything to fit so I can actually get it off. Just taking these roof racks off make a massive difference in the looks. I'm not going to show you yet. The next time you see the whole of the car will be when we're done. So But I'm really, really happy with how it looks. I reckon this thing looks sick.
All right, I'm back from work and we've taken the frame for our table off and given it a coat of spray paint. So now it's black. Looks a lot more better. Looks a bit more square now. But anyway, so we're going to pop it back on with all the brackets and everything. And we'll chuck some brackets underneath it as well so it's supported. And then we're going to work on it measuring out the table so that we can get it done. Last night we had a look at all the bits and pieces that we bought. We worked out what way our hinges need to go and roughly how the table's actually going to work. Should be pretty straightforward. We just need to measure and cut the actual table part of it. And then we should be able to easily assemble it all. All right, well, someone sorts out how we're actually going to screw into this because they didn't charge the drill. I'm going to talk about our actual table. So this is a piece of bench top that is left over from when we did the table in the Ranger. It's a really nice piece of wood, like really beautiful color and everything. And I think it looks really nice with the green, like literally matches perfectly. So the plan is it's going to sit flush with this and then it will fall down like this. So it needs to be trimmed on these sides and then it also needs to be cut lengthwise as well. So I'm going to measure up a straight line on one of the sides so we can cut that. And then we can come back and work out how much we need to cut off the other side. And then I will also measure how much needs to come off the bottom. All right, so we just cut the piece on the one side and the bottom. And it looks amazing. So now we just got to measure up and trim the other side and then we can work on screwing it all in.
That's it right there. It's pretty much how it's going to sit, just like that. And somewhere close to about that. Perfect.
These are the hinges that we're using. They're just ones from Bunnings. They've got a small piece and then a larger piece. So last night we worked out where these need to go for it to work. So we're going to pop these on and test it and make sure we're right. And then we'll move on to everything else. All right, we got it on. Let's test it, see if it actually opens. It actually holds quite good just like that. We have got a hook to lock it to the top so it doesn't fold over, but pretty good. The next bit is going to be the fun bit. We've got wire and we're going to try and work out how to connect it from the top to the corner to hold it so that it obviously doesn't continue to open because we just want it at 90. But this is literally like the perfect size for our cooker. So yeah, and like I said, it stays shut by itself. But yeah, we've got the lock for it. We've had a little bit of an error. We've just realised that you actually can't open this drawer all the way. Bit of a mistake, but it's okay because we'll probably only really use half of this drawer anyway for all the camping and cooking stuff, similar to how the Patrol's set up. So it worked out okay, and we could shift everything over and make it work, but we're just going to leave it. But we literally only just realised that. So it could have been a lot worse. We might have not been able to open the drawer at all.
I'll put a little dot there just so I know exactly where the middle is, where I need to put this latch. I'm going to have it as far forward as I can. We got the little latch. So now holds up. Next, now we're going to try and work out this wire situation. So to do it properly, it looks like you're supposed to buy a whole heap of stuff. We didn't really want to do that because it gets quite expensive if we do it that way compared to like how we think we can do it. So there's a proper way to do it and then there's the way that we're going to do it. So we've just got some electrical terminals that we're going to feed this wire into and we're going to crimp it on that. And then we're going to measure the other end, make it so it's 90 degrees, so it sits flat. Electrical terminal to the other end, and then just put screws in on either side, and that should work. Yeah, it is. We'll get a better picture in the morning for you. We'll be able to show you exactly how it looks, but it looks actually really good. This here is a pretty good tip for you guys, if you want to do this cheap yourselves. All you need is just the wire. Any wire will really do. We got 3.5 mil just because that's the only lugs we could find. But you could get smaller lugs and smaller wire and it would still do the same job. Couple self-tapping screws. And there's your table. We only need to hold it in by one. We will take better photos of these in the morning. That'll be it for tonight, so we will catch us in the morning. Boop.
All right, so I've pinned this piece all up. Now this is like the third one that I've done. I wanted to do a couple as a test run first to make sure it was actually going to work. So I've fully completed one of them, and I've sewn another one and put in the suction cups. I haven't spray painted it yet. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna go around and I'm gonna quickly sew this one, and I'll just quickly show you guys. Now, there is probably other ways that you could do this without having to use a sewing machine. Like I said, last time we used electrical tape and that does work. However, after being in the sun for a certain amount of time, it's lost its stickiness and started pulling off. But that did work. So you might just have to do that and replace it if you don't have a sewing machine. Or if you have someone in your family that knows how to sew, or you know how to sew yourself, why not? So anyway, I'm gonna go around and sew this one, show you guys quickly. And then I will be putting the suction cups in, paint it, and then it'll be going in the car. And yeah, I'll be able to show you guys from start to finish. But yeah, anyway, so this is what it looks like all pinned up. Got to sew, like I said, I'm using bias binding tape. So I've got to sew along the top of here, and then it gets flipped over onto the good side. So this is the side that you see inside of the car. It gets flipped over and it will look like this. And then the other ones I've spray painted the inside black, so it looks really nice from the inside of the car. But I'll sew this one. All right, got it all sewed. So this is what it looks like. It's pretty dodgy when you look up close. I will say I'm not the best sewer, but got the basic skills to do it. So yeah, up close it's a bit dodgy, but from afar you can't even tell. So that's what the front looks like, and then the back just looks like that. So now I'm gonna pop in some rivets and then put the suction cups through them, but I'll show you that whole process. Sorry guys, it's actually the next day. Ended up being busy yesterday afternoon, but I'm back to show you the rivets and everything else to do with the solar shades. So these are the little rivets I'm using. These are just ones from Spotlight. They are a 5mm diameter inside, and they work perfectly for the suction cups I got. And then to use these, you pop this one on one side and then your ring on the other side. So obviously the fabric is between the two of these, and then you use this little tool with a hammer. This one goes on the black ring, and then you put this one through the hole and you just hammer it, and that closes it. I'll show you guys afterwards how that works. But so that's the riveting tool and the rivets, and then these are the suction cups that I'm using. So I got these ones off Temu. Now I don't particularly like buying stuff off Temu, but we did look everywhere for something like this, and I was just struggling to find something that would work. These are huge suction cups, like nearly as big as my hand. They're very big. And they're also screw backed. That was one of the main things that we wanted. Obviously a large suction cup as well, but they have a screw backing. So I can put them through the rivet hole and then screw the back on. So they literally work perfectly. And because they're so big, I don't need as many of them on each solar shade. Otherwise I'd probably have to use 12 or something of a regular size suction cup on there. So these worked out to be, I think, like just over $2 a pack. I don't know, 10 pieces. And I think I ended up getting 4 packs. So I ended up with 40. So hopefully that's enough and I don't have to order any more. But yeah, these are working perfectly for what we need them for. All right, first I need to make a hole for this piece of the rivet to go through. I'm going to put one in the corner. So what I've been doing is generally one in each corner, and depending on how big it is, 1 or 2 in the middle. I'll pop a little hole in, not too big. And then I've been putting the black side on the side that stays inside the car. So just push that through the hole. You can see the back of it pop out. This way, if I do it this way, it's really in there nice and snug. So that's in, and then that's what it looks like from the front. Then you add the ring to the back of it. And then this piece, your small piece, it has a little groove in it. That goes on that side of the black piece. And then you need a surface to put it on, obviously, to hammer it. And then your long piece with the hole, that goes into the hole. And then you just need a hammer. Probably would be better to do this with a rubber mallet, but this is the only one that I could find. Just like that, it is pushes the back of it down and squishes it together. So that's what it looks like from the back. And then it looks like that from the front. So it's in there nice and tight. And then I can grab one of our suction cups. This goes on this side because this is the side that sticks to the window. Screw the backing on. You make them nice and tight. And then that's what it looks like. So suction cup on the side that goes on the car. And then this is what it looks like from the inside of the car. And then I'm just going to pop the rest of them in. And then I will spray paint this side black. And then this gets stuck. And then this side will be black inside the car. But anyway, I'm going to go through and pop the rest of the suction cups in. And then I will take it outside, spray paint it, and then I can show you what they look like in the car. So this is what they look like when they're all done. Like I said, they're not perfect. Some of them don't fit in quite right. I haven't like licked the suction cups to stick them down because we're still going to take the tint off the windows because it's peeling off anyway. But yeah, this is what they look like. Pretty good for DIY. We've just cut up some of our other shelves to put in the middle. So that's what that one's going to look like. And then we had this little piece left over from the edge of the table, so we thought we may as well use that for the shelf. And this one we've trimmed it, but it's a little bit too long, so we just need to go back and trim that, and then we can work on putting that in. And then we're going to carpet this one as well. It's time to get this rear setup done. So I'm going to drill in this little shelf in the table, and then I'll move on over to the other side to do the shelf on that side as well. And then I got to work out how to run the string through it, the cord string, to stop everything from falling out. All right, this is what our table is looking like. We've taken it back off so that we could screw in this side for the shelf. So the shelf's all secured now. And then I also added some brackets to the bottom here so that we can secure it from the bottom as well. Gonna bolt this one back in, and then I'll get Riley to screw through the metal. All right, we're back. It's the last morning before Riley goes back to work, and we've got to try and get as much done as we possibly can today. We are going to have to do a trip into town to get some parts. Some of the parts that we ordered for the car are wrong, so we're going to have to get some other parts to fix the radiator hose and the coolant hoses. But while we're waiting for those to be ready, we're just going to finish off this back setup. So working on this back shelf. So we've got the shelf piece, and then Riley is just cutting the trim piece, which sits on top. So we're going to drill that in and then put the shelf in. Everything is a bit wonky because it sat in the rain. It unexpectedly rained. I didn't realise that stuff was still outside. So anyway, we'll get that in the car now. Got our shelf done. We've got the trim piece on the front, so that will stop things from sliding off the shelf. Obviously, we're going to do the rope across it as well, but it looks really nice. This is what we're looking like, all done. You will notice that this piece is not straight. That's because it was in the rain and the wood's not straight, but I don't think anything is straight in any of this. Pretty dodge, I will say, but for a quick job. Looks pretty good. I'm really happy with the table setup. So yeah, this little bit is done. Later down the track, we will add the plugs and the electrical side back into here. Be a good little charging point for us. But that's pretty much all we have time for. So this little bit is done, pretty much done. I just realized that we still haven't added the cord in yet. So I've got some of this shock cord. It's what we're going to use. We just need to work out how we're going to do it. So I'm going to have a look at some pictures of some other people's and see if we can work it out. We did grab some of these that we had in the shed, but these ones are really big. So I don't really want to use those ones. Maybe if we could get smaller ones of these. Or my other idea was drilling a hole and sticking some of it in the hole with some glue. But that also might not work. So gonna have a little play around with that. Back from our Bunnings run. It is so much hotter now. Gone a little bit more sun safe. And yeah, it's definitely warm. Got our box of goodies. Definitely we'll have to do a Bunnings count for how many times we've gone to Bunnings during these couple of days to get stuff. But got lots of goodies. We've got some more spray paint, sandpaper, and a few other things for other projects that we're working on other than the disco. But the main thing that we needed to get for this is these little guys. So I'm going to give these a shot. Drill a pilot hole and then screw it in. Sounds pretty easy. I'm going to give that a whirl and see if I can get these in. I'm learning how to use the drill now. Well, I obviously knew how to use a drill, but how to actually change the bits out of it. So I'm full DIY queen. Perfect. Alright, that's what our bits are looking like. I'll let that spray paint dry, won't take long. It's pretty hot out here in the sun. And then we'll come back and run the cord through them. So all my pieces should be dry enough now. So I'm gonna run the cord through them. I went and got a lighter so that I could singe the ends so that they don't unravel. I reckon it's gonna look pretty good when it's all done. But definitely stop everything from falling out. That's sort of the main point of it, is just to stop stuff from falling out. So I'm going to go through and do the rest of them, and then yeah, we're pretty much done. I still need to glue this trim piece on as well.